So Wrestle Kingdom was this past weekend, and I didn't get a chance to talk to any of my buddies about it. And then last night on Raw, total bait and switch, no Jericho, even though they dropped a lot of hints. These are the kind of occasions where I feel like I need to sue somebody. Time to consult my attorney. Wakey, wakey.
What the f*** am I watching?
Holy you are annoying.
All right, so we are here now. You get your rock star going on there, Ronnie?
It's all I need. It's all I need to keep me alive. And
yes, I know you got lots on your plate.
I'm content.
You're not only a fake lawyer. You're like a fake cop. You're a fake lots of things. But for me today, I'm consulting my attorney. Now I forced you to watch the Monday Night Raw Netflix.
Yep.
You've become like jaded with WWE lately, but I made you watch CM Punk.
Very much so.
Really,
one thing I noticed
Wrestle
immediately
Kingdom
that I love is Michael Cole and Corey Graves on the call, because by far the more superior broadcast team. As I've explained to you before, not a fan of Joe Tess. So him not being there, phenomenal. I was a big fan of that. I thought the match was actually really good. I enjoyed it.
Me too. Now, a lot of people say CM Punk is washed and he's old and Bron Breakker's the future, but I think this might be CM Punk's like only world title run. He's going to try and keep it for like 6-8 months. He's going to have a bunch of matches. But what I don't think people realize is, and this is why I'm consulting you, I need to see if you agree with me or not. Like CM Punk has always been sloppy, like the elbow, like boom, like he's never been crisp. He's always been more cerebral. So like him looking old and gassed and shitty and having non-crisp moves, like being shitty, being the like everyman, is kind of his thing. Now, like before you talk, now Stone Cold was more of the everyman, like the beer drinking, I hate my boss kind of everyman. But CM Punk, he was a little more elitist. But as far as like, anybody can do this, your skinny fat ass, a little indie boy, like he's shitty. And if he leans into it more, he's probably not even gassed. Like, if he takes a couple of moves at the beginning and then he's like, like immediately you're like, Spot Punk, he's so shit. And, if you're young, you're like, he sucks. I hate him. Get rid of him. Look how awful he is. But as you grow a bit older, I think you feel like, come on, he pulled it out, which is what he did last night. He pulled it out. Breaker's still going to be champ, but Punk, shitty Punk, got his win. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to wrap my head around the concept of Punk being shitty. Like he's not. Is he super? Well, like is he super crisp like a 20-something-year-old Austin Theory? No. But as you said, he's an everyman, right?
Yeah.
He's still athletic enough to do this. He's still athletic enough to go for however many minutes. I don't see him as shitty. I don't even know where that thing is. Is he older?
You hate to backtrack on these kind of things. I'm not saying he's shitty. I'm like, when you're on X, like the consensus is that he should retire. He's washed. He's CM Punk. Like there's a lot of negative about his in-ring work and where he's at in his career. I love CM Punk. I think he's great. He's great on the mic. He's making the money. He sells the T-shirts. Certainly when he gets in there and goes toe to toe with someone on the mic, like it's must-watch TV. But in ring is when people criticize him.
I don't get it. I don't understand X, the people on it. I don't know how they get their shitty takes. If anything shitty, it's them. Punk, I think, in the role that he's in right now is absolutely perfect. It's not like he's coming out being the voice of the voiceless or doing all that stuff. He's like, brother, I've earned this. I'm at this level. I want to stay at this level. I will fight however I have to fight.
Yes,
I think that match worked out well. Yes, Bron Breakker's faster. Bron Breakker has the speed. He's got the technique minus that one little Frankensteiner attempt. But I mean,
he's still
I don't see what the problem is. I thought it was great. Say what?
He's still a Steiner. He's going to be top heavy. He's going to have concrete feet. He's fast now because he's young. But you just watch, them concrete feet are coming, buddy. Now he is Rick's son, and Rick was always superior in the ring with footwork. Yeah. But he might have a little more Scott in him than maybe hopefully he's got all the good Scott stuff. Like he's bad at math, the stuff that entertains, right? Because Scott had him out, man. Of course, we all know why he was great. All right, well, so like I knew that he wasn't going to win as soon as it was like 2 title changes earlier in the night. Now you didn't watch all of Raw, I assume, but what you did watch all of was Wrestle Kingdom, correct?
I watched all 4 or 5 hours. I think 4 hours.
Well, an hour of that was just
Tanahashi, and then the hour was the Tanahashi. I didn't watch that hour because I don't speak Japanese, and listening to the commentators translate it for me is nice, but
I love
can't
Chris
watch an
Charlton and
hour.
Walker Stewart are top notch. I love those dudes.
They're great. Don't get me
And
wrong.
I'll put it
I
out.
like them a lot more than fucking Kevin Kelly. Let me tell you how much
Do you know
I hate
that guy, Garen Music? He's like the Irish guy who like criticizes Americans.
do.
Like, oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Americans.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Garen, right? Is it
Yeah,
Garen?
follow
Garen?
him, by
You
the
know?
way. He's delicious.
Okay. So
yeah.
imagine Garen like trimmed his beard, cut his hair,
Yeah.
and look up Walker Stewart. You'll
Right
find
now.
a nice like face shot of him, and you'll be like, this is Garen with a posh accent, and like he shaves and takes care of himself and bathes and stuff.
Oh, wow. Look at those dreamy eyes. Good Lord.
You know, he's on screen. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He's a handsome dude.
Speaking of dreamy eyes, you got your autofocus on it, just zoomed in and out on you while you weren't looking. Yeah, see, it's like it's like pokeroo.
I've been told my eyes are not terrible, and I just say, well, they are. That's why I'm wearing glasses. But
yes,
I take the compliment anyway. So
well, let's not be terrible like Wrestle Kingdom and take 5 hours here. I'm not going to talk about the TV title match. I mean, I like both those guys.
Yeah,
it was great and all, but let's go straight into the 6-man Rainbow because I love the Rainbow. It's like my favorite shit. And this year they did like the 6-man tag titles, which was interesting.
It was not terrible. I felt that match was like a little long, but I mean, because it's when you have those multi-man sort of matches, like you get a couple of minutes of shine and then you got to bounce out and then you got to switch to the next guy. So everybody gets their spot in. But overall, I didn't think it was all that bad. I think it was great.
No, I enjoyed Yo doing his like old school Yano stuff. You probably don't realize that, but Yano used to be like he had his dyed blonde hair and he was like a badass in ring and like just kicked the shit out of people with great bash heel with Togi Makabe. Makabe was in there too, which is I was upset that they didn't have like a stare off like Yo and Makabe like or something that would have been cool because that was his tag partner back when they were doing this stuff. Right. A lot of cool stuff in this. I like that TMDK came out with the win. But for me, the reason, like, it was the beginning of the G1 that Yo came out and started pleading, like, I need a Wrestle Kingdom spot. We need to pay more attention to these titles. And a lot of the first people that held these titles, they were really hoping to have more, the title was going to have more weight to it, more prestige. Because they were working with CMML, and in Mexico, trios titles are huge. And even in the like late 90s with Wrestling Romance, War, like, 6-man titles were a big deal in Japan for a while. I think they were trying to bring it back, and they kind of failed.
Well, I mean, it'd be nice, you know what I mean? But they have so many titles.
See, that's another thing. This is why I think, since in America, they don't really care about 6-man and trios titles, and in Japan, they want to care, but it doesn't seem to happen. And, as a booker on the indie type level, lower level, you got to book like 6 guys in a match. That's more money, more people, more bodies, more problems, right? More bodies, more problems when you're a booker. So for me, I always thought when the Bang Bang Gang had like both the ROH and the trios title, and like, I think it was like January-ish, February-ish, 2 years ago, Okada, before he came in, they had a match where he was a 6-man, one of the never 6-mans. And they had their match, and they won the match, and then they vacated. I thought they should have lost that match. With the Bang Bang Gang having both of them, I thought it was a chance, especially working with CMML, to like have the unified title go to like a Mexican team. That Mexican team maybe wins the New Japan titles. And so you've got a Mexican trio team that has these 3 trios titles, right? So three trios, Triple Crown, 1, whatever. They defended in CMML. They defended all over the place on Fantastica Mania, on the New Japan shows, on the New Japan Strong shows, some AEW stuff. They keep this title for like 6-8 months. They defend it a lot. They give prestige to this title. And, everybody thinks about the Triple Crown, guys walking around with the 3 belts, how cool it looked. But these were all belts from the 50s and 60s. They were like thinner, smaller. Yeah. Like it looked cool because the leather was worn and they were lighter. But like these big titles now, it looks weirder when guys have a whole bunch of them. So maybe they unify it. But if you really want to have this cross-promotional relationship where Tony Khan's not just stealing all the New Japan talent all the time and sucking them dry, this is when you give these titles, make a unified title and let other companies use them constantly.
I don't see a problem with that. I think that's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah. When Tony first took over ROH and he had, I'm trying to remember who he is, he used to be the Romantic Touch. And I'm losing it right now, but he was a longtime ROH guy, and they gave him the final television title. And then
Tony took over.
Rex Titus, thank you. I wouldn't remember.
Rex Titus. Yeah.
So like Titus took on Minoru Suzuki, lost the TV title. And so I thought they were just going to have Suzuki like go to Japan for a while. Like, and he could have just like had the title on him, six mans or whatnot, maybe defend it once in a while, but like give it some prestige outside of ROH, let it mull around and move around and whatnot while ROH was in this like smaller regrowth period. But yeah, the 6-man titles could be something if all companies involved give it weight and do, and there's less of them, right? So you don't need the ROH, the AEW, and the New Japan, and blah, blah, blah. You make them one title so that they're more prestigious and it's more sought after. But
does New Japan still work with CMLL?
New Japan, yes, they do. And but we'll talk a little bit later about how I think this relationship is going to completely dissolve soon. But
well, that's huge.
DMDK winning that there in the end.
Not bad.
They
not
did
bad
not,
however,
win the tag titles the next night on New Year's Dash.
Oh, they didn't. I didn't watch the New Year's Dash show.
Dude, I love Oscar and Yuto Ice are great, and I'm glad that they kept the title. But that was a great match.
Yeah,
especially like like Oiwa and Ice like facing off in this like rivalry they've had since Young Boys. Pretty good stuff. But you're also not into like the Joshi stuff, so you don't know who like Saya.
I watched it. I don't know them. I don't know them. Okay. That match was actually not bad. My issue, I've said this before, my issue with Joshi wrestling is all the screeching. There's so much screeching if I were to watch like a Stardom show or something, and it drives me mental. There was not that much screeching in that match. It was actually pretty good. It was a decent match. They hit hard, and it was good.
Like the New Japan guys are like, listen, if you want to do this, a little less screeching.
Just slow, just calm down. Yeah, I just don't want to feel like I'm listening, to bats arguing with each other, in a cage
on the A+ pod best of the year, Saya Kamatani and Tam Nakano. That was my match of the year, like back in April.
Okay.
And was it April or was it just anyways? The first one was in April, I think. Anyways, so I'm not surprised it's Suri won because Kamatani just had the match a few nights before on the Queendom thing.
Right.
She's had a rough year, a lot of matches, big matches, a lot of hard matches. So they can spin it that she's tired, she lost, But I think that New Japan is shoring up their titles the way that Yoda Suji wants and they want. They still have a lot of strong dates and U.S. dates, but if their relationship with AEW folds, they might try and just bring it all in house, combine the IWGP. Those two titles are not very prestigious at all.
Right.
And
I thought it was a good match. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was good.
Well, the red belt that Kamatani has right now is a very, very prestigious title. So it's like, I think they just want to like separate it, And so hopefully they'll amalgamate those titles and unify them, and they'll have like an IWGP or strong women's champion, openweight champion. That'd be great there. But this was a good match and good for Suri. Hopefully there's more women's matches on New Japan.
I mean, if they're like that, I'll keep watching. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm opposed to women's wrestling or even Japanese women's wrestling. It's the screeching. My God.
Well, after this, we had like the big mishmash with the unaffiliated Finley, Drilla Maloney, who's like been one of my favorites for years, and now he just looks wicked. Looks like Cobra, like Stallone Cobra. He's such a badass.
Yeah.
Gabe Kidd, Takahashi, Shingo Takagi against the United Empire. And I see Jake Lee is way more of like a House of Torture guy. If Evil leaves, like taking over House of Torture.
He very much looks like a House of Torture guy.
Yeah, man. Sure. Like, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff with the House of Torture, with the United Empire. And even on New Year's Dash, Ospreay came out, talked to them all, said, hey, I'm going to come back. Hey, we're going to shore this up. And like Jake Lee looked kind of, and like Cal Newman was like, great. He looked kind of pissed. Jake Lee looked kind of pissed. Like, who are you? We need you. We're just starting to like build back up. And I'm going to come back and save you guys. Like, screw you. Like, I see a lot of this here. They're like kind of one of my favorite like factions. I love seeing Hanare back. He's such a badass.
Hanare,
every time you see him,
Hanare is a beast.
Yeah, he looks crazier and crazier every time you see him. He used to look
he is
goofy
fantastic.
When he was a young
boy. Oh my God. He needs an entrance where he just does the haka. You know what I mean? I would watch the shit out of that. Just on repeat. So good.
Well, we'll see what happens like with this team, but I think Finley's might be gone. His contract is up.
Oh, okay.
Maloney's contract is up, but I bet he'll re-sign. Gabe Kidd. I don't know, Gabe Kidd going for the global title, so he'll be around.
Yeah. It was a good match. That was a good match too. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah. They put someone through a table, didn't they? In that with Fale and was it that match?
Did they go through a table?
Don Fale put somebody through a table.
Huh.
Can't remember. What was that match?
Probably.
Yeah, it was crazy. So
I'm like, who won this next one? This it was a number one contendership. Like it was Fujita, right? Didn't he just win the junior tag title like the next night with
I have no
Robbie
idea. I
Eagles?
don't remember. I
I'm
don't remember at
confused.
all.
Well, anyways, let's talk about Aaron Wolf and Evil because you liked that match. You were into it.
I actually liked it. I liked it. I was surprised for a guy who's never wrestled a match,
Mhm.
how over Aaron Wolf was. Like, everybody goes on about how quiet the Japanese crowds are, which from the sounds of it looks like they don't like mic it up properly, I guess, to like the audio doesn't pick up a lot. But for
There's just
the
not a
for
din of
the
noise constantly. You know?
yeah, there's not. Yeah, yeah. But for like the 47,000 people that were in that building, holy shit, that kid is
Yeah, they're right at
over.
him. Like, and him coming out like a young boy, like shaving his head, coming to
Yeah, yeah,
black
yeah.
tights, like being very humble. Evil's actually his trainer, kayfabe behind the scenes. So nobody better
Right,
to
right,
work
right.
with.
Yeah.
Huge hero, like Japanese Olympic judoka, like so, like
Yeah,
these
yeah.
guys, they love their hometown guy.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, not placed high on the card, but still great match. Everybody reacted to him
Yep.
great, did a great job. The shenanigans of the House of Torture being there actually helped this match because it gave him fodder of people to like throw around and get
Yeah, yeah,
screwed
yeah.
over.
Yeah. And
Um,
then he gets to demonstrate the judo stuff and just judo toss
exactly.
everyone else.
Also, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just like one-on-one grizzled match. Like if he's dealing with a guy and then Evil comes from behind and hits him, and he turns around, then he can turn around and like bam, forearm. It's like it's all like quick impact stuff. So even if he
Yeah.
gets distracted, turns around, ducks an Evil thing, hits him with a big move, pins him. Like it's not like you know what I mean? Like those kind of quick turnaround. Evil's not expecting him to duck and then get caught with a big move, bam. So like,
Right, right, right.
oh, so
Right.
the constant distraction and not just the constant head to head. It
Yeah,
works on all
it's
levels.
like it's almost like a less is more kind of approach. Like he doesn't have to do much other than just react to
Yeah.
whatever. And again, it's like a big move, slam him down or something, and then that works.
So you've
Um,
got their strong open weight title, which freaking Ishii has right now, and I don't know what they're going to be doing with this Canadian brand. The LA Dojo is like kind of just the LA Dojo now. I think they might even be getting away from New Japan branding. I don't know,
right.
but you've got your global championship, right? We know what happened in the end here with Yoda Suji having both titles, and you've got this title now.
Yeah.
You've got it's the never open weight and the strong open weight. You can make like an IWGP or a New Japan open weight title, like amalgamate those to get less titles, more prestige.
Yep.
But really, now this is me being weird, but me thinking about fan reaction and years of booking. So he's the 50th never open weight champion.
Right.
The never division was never meant to be just what it is, which is like big, hard hitting guys, really, in the end run. It was meant to be for the
Right.
younger generation. But it turned into like the badass title, guys who beat the F out of each other.
Mhm.
So he's the 50th champ. Nice round number. The belt's been all spray painted. It's like it's a smaller belt compared to some of the other
Yeah.
ones, even the global. So, and you've got Aaron Wolf, who's green as hell, but also over as hell.
Very
Who's
over.
going to eventually beat him and how? As somebody that deals with people that get injured a lot, sign contracts a lot, one more month, like you never know what's happening. The year of injuries, man, everybody's getting injured left, right, and center
Yeah.
right now, right? Like, heaven forbid,
Well, I
Aaron
mean,
Wolf
they're
takes on
beating the
Jay
hell out
Cargill.
of each
He's,
other. It's
yes.
going to happen, right? So
Heaven forbid, Aaron Wolf takes on Jay Cargill. He's done, right? Or like injuries.
which,
But
by the way, I thought it was an interesting choice that Aaron Wolf's very first match, very much, is green. His conditioning, I thought, was not super great,
no.
because like early on in that match, drenched in sweat.
Well,
You
it
know
leads
what I
back
mean?
to our Punk thing where you're like you're like a bit of an everyman. You're like you can believe that he's gassed out,
Punk
right?
makes sense
Fighting
because
through.
he's older and grizzled and all that
But
stuff. But
wrestling's
like,
a different beast. It's not judo. It's
I
like
agree.
you don't
I
realize
agree.
how you're
And so
constantly
like he doesn't have
cardio's everything.
that wrestling conditioning. But I thought it was still a
Ric
bit of a
Flair with
surprise.
his like 40 beats per minute heart rate for his entire life is why he could wrestle for an hour and then still go to Space Mountain and is like still going strong at like 80
Yeah.
or whatever. Like he's never gonna
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Anyways, let me say
it
what
was
I
an
was gonna
interesting
say.
choice. Yeah.
Really?
It's
How you gonna
you don't
beat
think it was
him?
an interesting choice? Like if like
Have him win?
to have him win on his very first match. I think if I mean from an aesthetic point of view, it's not like let's say Brock Lesnar debuts, right? The first time he debuted back in 2002 or whatever it was. And he's jacked, he's young, he looks like a monster, and he beats the shit out of whoever was champ at the time, which I guess was probably Triple H or something. Pins him, which I mean Triple H at that time wouldn't let that happen. But
Whatever, okay.
if Lesnar was champ at that time and he just like first match came in, just dominated, I'd believe it. Aaron Wolf not the most impressive physique.
But it's
You know what I
it's
mean?
not their top title. I mean, Japan loves doing this stuff. Vader came in, destroyed Inoki, like huge props or
Well, if
whatever.
it's not their
I think
top
this was
title,
fine.
then yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Evil's known as being not that great, not that tough, because that's why he cheats all the time. Aaron Wolf, like
Sure.
this was the perfect spot for him. Go over on Evil. Evil might be gone now, going to WWE. Who knows? And this title, you put this weird title that they have on him.
Yeah.
But here's my point. Yoda Suji's trying to amalgamate these two titles. He's already brought back the old school belt. They are now doing this like triple threat for the global, or like maybe it's going to be Andrade against Kidd for number one contendership. I don't know. What I would do is if they are having some kind of number one contendership or whatever, I would have Yoda Suji take on Aaron Wolf. Like they like meet in the ring, like shake hands, they're talking or whatever, and it's like you and me, the next show, whatever. So Aaron Wolf comes in, can have a hell of a showing against the champ, and people can be really behind him, and oh my God. But then the idea that Yoda Suji beats him is not that big of a deal. Now he's been beaten, so the idea of him being beaten isn't that big of a deal. He can now go on and still have great matches against people and tag matches, and nobody else it's not going to hurt Yoda Suji, and it's not going to hurt Aaron Wolf. You're going against the youngest, hottest, newest guy.
Yeah.
And now Yoda Suji has the never title too. He's got all three of these titles, and he can be like, okay, boom. We're going back to the original. You get rid of the 50th is a nice round number for title holders. If those want to get amalgamated, you've got the global open weight championship. And now it can go all around the world, and lower tier guys can wrestle for it, like the Ricochets and the Andrades and the, Gabe Kids and the guys on New Japan. But the New Japan, the IWGP, the Grand Prix, the governing bodies title of Japan, that's their top title. And you got to come to Japan, just like all the Gaijins did in the past. Everybody comes to Japan to take on Inoki, to take on Fujinami, to take on the number one guy. And our other title can go around. It can be the global openweight title. Any weight, size, whatever, New Japan's global title, go. And that like amalgamates those two titles together, and then you've still got your American strong base title. I'm just saying that they need to shore stuff up. And this never title, it looks like crap right now, being all spray painted and whatnot. And I think a good way of getting it off Aaron Wolf and getting rid of this title is to have Yoda Suji beat him, because it'd be easy all around. Great showing.
Yeah.
It's like when Javon Evans comes in and he's the hottest freaking thing, and he takes on Cody Rhodes or Goba Femi recently, right?
Yeah.
Right to the everybody believes it, but the fact that he lost to the champ is like, okay, we can believe that. But man, he was this close, close. He's the future champ. You're doing that with Aaron Wolf here, and you're somehow getting rid of this dirty, never open.
I see it. I can see that vision. I think it makes sense. I mean, I think that works, honestly, because as you said, I don't think it hurts Aaron Wolf at all to take a loss in that kind of scenario, because everybody knows he's green as shit, and he's fighting,
the
another
top guy,
champion.
and he's in there for like 25 minutes going toe to toe with the champ. That just puts you over, right?
Yeah, and then it gives Yoda a boost, because then he's it very just closed short having a stroke, I guess. It shows that he has the experience and the wherewithal to overcome a dude who's a monster of a man, just throwing people around. So I think that actually works. I think that works a lot. Yeah.
Well, then you've got our not our main event, but for me the main event, which is the global and world titles. And these guys have met before in the G1 a couple of years ago. But the fact that Konosuke he's an outsider, he's not, he's committed, but he's not really committed to New Japan. He's got 3 contracts. Yoda wants to bring the title home. There's no other way to have this happen.
Yeah.
And he's a DDT trained guy. So like the fact that he beat him with the Boston Crab, which is like a young boy move, a move that they have to use. They're not allowed to use any other submissions for a while. Like it really? It drove the point home. Yeah, like it's the
I didn't know that part.
Only submission move they're allowed to use until they either graduate or until after their excursion.
Wow.
I mean, they can be on it.
That's an interesting rule, honestly.
Well, like you're only allowed base level moves. You're only allowed to wear black, and you're only allowed to use certain moves, and it's the young boy style. And I love the young boy style and the young boy system, which is like gives you a reason. It's like NXT but better, and you see them like you can have a guy who's the top champ, and you can go back 4 years, and he was getting his ass beat by a mid card guy, and it makes sense. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we won't go through the minutia. Great match, Yoda Suji, great
Phenomenal
smile.
match. Absolutely.
Great guy to lead this company. The new remade and reforged title belt looks even better than the previous one. This one's curved, a little taller, a little bigger, a little more AEW looking. Looks fabulous.
Yeah.
But I think they need to amalgamate some of these lower titles or get rid of them. I don't like that they're doing the Gabe Kidd and Andrade thing, and Andrade barely freaking did.
By the way,
anything.
Andrade looked amazing. By the way,
He looks amazing, but
this
on the
time
Wrestle
off
Kingdom
of
card, he barely did anything.
No, he didn't.
He did a lot on
much. Yeah,
on New Year's Dash, but a lot more at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I once again at the end here with Jake Lee attacking him the same way that Kenta attacked Naito years ago and like sat on his face. Like I hated that, and now here Jake Lee attacking him here. I don't know, but at least it wasn't the main event. You know, like Naito won the 2 double titles and was attacked by Kenta. It was ridiculous. But yes, we'll get right on to possibly one of the greatest in-ring rivalries in wrestling history, and this is everything that I thought it was going to be, plus all the cool like Cena and AJ moves. Like they tried to do all their opponents and best moves.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
and it was what it was.
Seeing Tanahashi try and do the Shinsuke, the Bumaye thing.
Destino as well. A lot of it was like
couldn't hit that, couldn't get his leg up for that knee.
Yeah, well, a lot of people online were being like, "Hey,
rough.
he's no John Cena," or "Why is he so great?" But this guy's like destroyed his body.
Whatever, man.
You know?
It's his last match. Let him do what he wants. Let him
like
do what
here.
he wants.
Speaking of which, if we go all the way back to the House of Torture match here, Sonata, who's one of my favorites, he hurt himself in 24 shoulder when he was champ, and now his shoulder is like kind of withering away in a lot of ways. I mean, it was originally they were saying it was just a chronic issue, but Hiroshi Tenzan is the same thing. It's like acromioclavicular something joint. Anyways, joint dislocation. It's like a permanent thing, right? The scapula, the muscle comes off the scapula, doesn't heal properly, and then basically you can't really work out with that arm properly. So then you see with Tenzan and now with
I know that feeling. Yeah.
2025 is the year of the shoulder for you too. So everybody's shoulder year.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see Tenzan's shoulders like withering away, almost like it has atrophy. It's not the case. It's just you can't work it out, and it's starting to happen to Sonata, which makes sense that he dumped just 5 guys and went back to House of Torture, where he can just have Gaga matches and not have to go hard. Plus, we also got rid of the awful just 5 guys name, which was great. But it's not career ending, but supposedly this is very painful. This I almost want to like look it up if I can remember the actual name. Acromio something. Acromio clavicle, whatever. It's like trying to say a Japanese guy's name too. I'm like, what's his name again? Yura Imura, or like Oiwa's name. Roy. I always screw up his first name. Roy, I can't do it.
Yeah, a lot of the names I'm like, I'm
good with most of them, really.
Yeah.
You know? And if they're really cool and then like come off the tongue easy, well, then that's even better, man. Like Zoran Mondani. No wonder everybody's voting for him in New York.
Great name.
Cool, right?
It's a great name.
If his name was like Brakbakmu. If it was harder to say, it would have been, he'd be like 5% less of the vote, at least, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, nice. It was nice at the end. I like that Shibata came out and like they did basically like chopped each other, like kicked the shit out of each other for a while. Like that's how dudes show love. You know, but lots to look back on. Same thing as John Cena, you know, the way the human brain is wired when you're doing the same thing every day, like you don't accumulate memories in the same way. Like if you work from home or you're lazy, like you know, time flies, right? But these guys, even though they're doing the same thing, it's different places, different people, different experiences. They blend together, but it's still, there's a lot to look back on, and it's all recorded, right? So, which is even better. You get people
I
put together promo packages
of
your past. Can't do that for you and me, pal. Well, maybe me a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have a lot of anything. Maybe this will be my this is it. This is the promo package for my past. I'll be like,
you could comb through a couple hundred wrestling events and be like, there's some Nadler, there's a shot of them, and maybe
that's what I do now with the demand shows. Like whenever I see the photos, I'm like, oh hey, there's me. I'm way in the back there.
Yay. All right, but overall, like not the best. If it wasn't for Okada and Tanahashi, who knows if it would have been such a big main event or such a big showing.
Yeah.
If it was Nakamura, it would have been much more people would have gone. That would have been huge.
I actually wonder if the Japanese crowd is just like if they have the same shitty takes that American crowds have, and they're like, "Oh, Tanahashi should have won his retirement match."
Maybe I'll go on and we'll look later, see what the Japanese like.
You know what I mean? Like,
the Japanese ex-haters wrestling.
And it's like that's not how this business works, dummy. You know what I mean?
Wrestling Twitter. Say Japón. We'll see what the Japanese
No, the A should have went over because
Yeah.
ugh.
Speaking of
I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw the exit where Tanahashi's waving and backs up into the mist and disappears into the ether. I thought that was a lovely shot. I thought
it's
that
like
was
reverse
really
edge.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to make one of those like Tanahashi fades and then it's like edge comes out. Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
I thought it was good. That is actually something you should make.
Last 5 minutes. I was telling you that I thought New Japan might pull away from AEW and might go with a AAA kind of deal with WWE. They're bleeding money. They have they're not doing well. That's why it's easy for guys to leave. That's why even Naito's leaving. Guys are leaving. They don't have the money anymore. They're lowballing guys. The deal that AAA made with WWE made me nervous at first, but if it's working out this way, man, it is working out really well for them and for the fans. If they do that for New Japan, save our brand, I'm in on it, and that's another reason to bring the titles back from New Japan Strong and amalgamate these titles and shore them up and make them mean more because it's not a world title anymore. Now it's the IWGP, it's the company title, and now the company's going to go 51% to WWE or something like that. Could only be a good thing, and they're far away. Like they're not going to be over there all the time bugging them.
Right.
What we will get is some WWE stars over there more, bigger matches. And, tournaments that will involve guys for like these titles that I might be talking about. You hated this idea. Why?
My fear, and it's the same thing when AAA got bought, is my fear is that they're going to say, okay, now that you're under our umbrella, you need to work our style. I don't want them to change anything about the Japanese style. We're trying to influence it to make it a bit more palatable for WWE. You know what I mean? I don't want them to like slow it down. Just, less is more, guys. You got to like slow. And it's like, that was my fear with AAA. Like you have the Lucha Libre style. Why on earth would you try and nerf that? I guess clip their wings.
But they haven't really. Like, I mean,
and
AAA was already a
which
lot
is
of
what I like. You know what I mean?
AAA was already very goofy.
Impressed. Yeah.
It wasn't like hard lucha like CMLL like constantly, right? So they've like
first of all, Mr. Iguana
the right brand.
Is the most serious wrestler I've ever seen in my life.
But they were always like the more gong show of the two promotions. Now in Japan, it's not go the same way. For them, it's like these fake forearms. It's all like strength. It's like a video game, right? Your mana, your what to be strong is to be like tough. And it's just all about like not hurting each other with the big drop on the head moves. Like let's go the opposite way of Misawa. But I don't think that they would affect them. It would affect it that much.
If they don't, I say give it a shot. I mean,
and it's the way that Japanese crowds react to matches and how they build them. What I'm worried about is them screwing with the young boy system because that is what makes you fall in love with these guys and what really makes them great wrestlers. Gets their fundamentals down, their communication down. It's really going to be incorporating English lessons into every young boy's training so that they can communicate freely with American wrestlers. Spanish and English should be part of the curriculum full time, and then you're going to have a much more powerful promotion.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I think I am. I don't hate it as much now. Maybe because I've had to sleep on it, and now that you're like explaining it, and I'm caffeinated. Like, okay. I can see that. I can see it.
Bro, I got this beer. My brother-in-law always buys me these awful beers for Christmas. He just buys me tons of random beers because I used to be a beer guy, and he hasn't gotten over the fact that I don't really drink anymore. But so he always buys me these weird exotic beers, and it's always fun to try them out. But I can read them and be like, I don't want this sour. I don't want this. I used to love IPAs. Now I'm into lighter beers. Dude, one beer out of all these beers, and technically out of the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So if we're talking like anywhere from 5 to 10 different types of beers every year for 5 years, dude, I just got one the other day. It's like an IPA, but it's like the base of it is like a blonde.
Okay.
So it's like Bone Shaker if it wasn't a dark beer, if it was like a blonde Corona like light beer. It's really, really good. I might become a drinker again. Like it's in the hallway here. I think it's called Design here. One moment. It's not called Design.
Okay.
What's it called?
This is when I tell them I don't drink beer. Not a beer guy.
It's Combine, and it's from Belgium, and it's all these like very like Christian,
Okay.
like Pope type stuff, like concubine.
I do like that
Dude,
label.
This
That's
stuff
actually
was
a really nice label.
awesome. This stuff
It's a
was
good label, though.
awesome. Very surprised. So
I'll take your
there we
word for it.
go.
I'm not a beer guy. I like rye. I'm a whiskey guy.
All right. Well, I'm out. I'm gonna go get shit faced on this stuff. Actually, no, it's empty. It's the only one I have. But
it's fine. Get
in a
more.
perfect world,
It's fine.
All right. Thank you for this consultation. You're still on retainer,
Always,
my
brother.
man. I will talk to you
Always.
soon, and we will see you guys next time. Please like, subscribe, and let us know if we're morons and you disagree with us. No WWE, New Japan. No.